Hello, everybody, and welcome to Memorial Stadium here in Fostoria, Ohio. It's the Fostoria Redmen tonight as they host the Tiffin Columbian Tornadoes here on our high school football. Friday Night Football brought to you by Bob Cunniff Video Productions. I'm Bob Cunniff along with Mike Swinger tonight. And Mike, what looks like on paper could be a mismatch. Fostoria a heavy favorite over Tiffin Columbian, but you never know. In rivalries such as these two teams do go back a long ways against each other. Columbian could hold their own in tonight's contest against Fostoria.
Quite possibly. Last season, the game not close at all. Fostoria doing a number on Tiffin Columbian. And so far this year, the 92 season has not boded well for the Tiffin Columbian Tornadoes, losing 35-7 and 34-7 last week to Clyde. And also with your number one quarterback out, Matt Newland, they're looking to get things righted and get ready for the NOL next week.
Well, as you mentioned, they did open the season with losses to Fremont Ross and to Clyde. And also then on the Fostoria side of things, they have opened with wins in both of their contests to start the season, with victories over both Wapakoneta and Findlay, the opening contest against Wapakoneta here at Memorial Stadium in Fostoria. Now for tonight's contest, looking at the Fostoria offense, they are led by Damon Moore, the 6'1", 185-pound junior quarterback. In the backfield with him will be Jason Dukes, number 20, at tailback. The fullback, number 41, Toby Shepard, while Tony Heyman, number 19, is the halfback. Pretty good size across that front line for Fostoria. As you look at that, Tom Jakugi, Jackie Hartley, Ryan Wagner, Shaw Nye, and Chip Dawson. The smallest one of the five is the center, Wagner, at 5'11", 205. You look at the strong tackle, Chip Dawson, 6'3", 305-pound sophomore. Size advantage definitely going by way of Fostoria, as does the numbers. In comparison, Tiffin Columbian, you know, their lines both offensively and defensively a bit on the slight side, especially in comparison to the team the size of these Fostoria Redmen. So, you know, size could be a factor in tonight's contest. And also, as of the last couple of seasons, let's face it, Fostoria has the town and the program on a roll. Last year's state champions, going 14-0 in the season. And it's a madhouse in Fostoria. They love their football. They got the place packed on the home side anyhow. And it's big time football here at Fostoria. It has been for the last couple, 3, 4, 5 years.
Well, the 1980s were very nice to the Tiffin Columbian Tornadoes. They won a number of NOL titles, played well in all their non-league games, but the 1990s so far have not been that way for Tiffin Columbian, so they're looking to get it going here in 1992.
Well, dwindling numbers as far as players go, that's a big problem as well. There's just a lot of things young men can do in Tiffin as far as alternative things to playing football, and I think that's been a problem with that community. But hopefully they'll get things right around. Coach John Tomaszewski and staff of very good people, and I hope for their sake to get things turned around, and maybe tonight will be that case. Well, I say we're just about ready for tonight's opening kickoff, so before we get to that, let's take a break, and we'll be back for the kickoff right after this.
Visit the Village Bean Barrel and experience the finest quality gourmet coffees, teas, and accessories from around the world. Experience over 20 varieties of international coffees such as hazelnut, Bavarian chocolate, or Colombian Supreme in a relaxed and pleasant atmosphere. The Village Bean Barrel will also design your holiday baskets.
Hello, I'm Dan Seifert. Welcome to the Village Bean Barrel. Stop in and try the finest teas and coffees in the entire world.
The new generation heat pump from this Comfort Assure dealer comes with a satisfaction guarantee.
If you're ready for central air conditioning, talk to us at Martin Brothers about a Lennox electric heat pump. It's a central air conditioner with a terrific bonus. The electric heat pump heats your home in the winter, which can save you lots of money. Call us for details.
The electric heat pump, it heats, it cools, and it saves.
We're back once again here at Memorial Stadium in Fostoria, ready for tonight's opening kickoff, as Fostoria will be doing the kicking duties. Back deep to receive for Tiffin Columbian, number 36 is Gene Duffy. As tonight's contest, week number 3 of our high school football season, just about ready to get underway.
Coach T already out on the field talking to the referees. The Tornadoes have been lined up, ready to go for a number of minutes.
Well, the kick is received by Duffy at the 12-yard line. He's out across the 20, about the 25, where he is brought down at the 27-yard line. Columbian will have their first possession, 1st and 10 at their own 27.
Nice hole to start the kickoff, but it was closed quickly. Number 26, Jamie Gura, 5'10", 151-pound junior. made the tackle.
First down 10 for the Tornadoes.
So 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line for Tiffin Columbian is Josh Edler, the quarterback. 5'11", 154-pound junior. And the first man through,
Paul Pryor.
Paul Pryor, number 46. So it's Paul Pryor and Gene Duffy in the starting backfield along with Josh Edler. Across the front line for Tiffin Columbian offensively, number 55, Jeff Kettles. Number 65, Justin Marsh. 63 is Ryan Phillips. 54 is Jeff Hoover. Number 72 is Martin Meyer. So the first play by Pryor picked up 2, so it'll be 2nd down and 8 now at the 29. Handoff this time goes to Duffy. Duffy fights his way through the line and falls short of the 35. Going to spot it right about the 34, so we'll call that a gain of 3 on the play. Bring up now a 3rd down and 4.
We talked about the size of the offense of the Fostoria Redmen. The defense not quite as big. Jackie Hartley, a 5'8", 217-pound senior, and Lauren Booz, a 5'11", 180-pound junior. The tackles, Sean Nye, 6'2", 215 junior, and Max Reinhardt, a 6'2", 185-pound senior, anchor the defensive line for Fostoria.
They bring Tony Gooding in motion to the near side. Handoff goes to Duffy, and Duffy is met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, maybe a loss on this one.
Host of Redmond right there, led by number 36. As they stuck another linebacker in there, Scott Mora, a 5'10", 175-pound sophomore. 10 men up on the line for Fostoria, only 1 man back deep.
They're putting some pressure on the punter. And the kick going to roll out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. So Fostoria, their first possession, will start at their own 38-yard line after Tiffin Columbian goes 3 downs and punt.
And wouldn't you know it, we don't have a number 47.
1st and 10 now for Fostoria at their own 37-yard line. Quarterback for Fostoria, number 1, Damon Moore, takes the snap, hands off to the first man through. That'd be Toby Shepard, the fullback. And Shepard, with a gain of 2 on the play, makes it 2nd and 8 now for Fostoria.
Columbian defense giving up almost 80 points so far this season. 70 points, I guess, 35 and 34.
Shepard and Dukes behind
2nd and 8 now for Fostoria. And the handoff goes to the halfback Dukes, and Dukes up near the midfield stripe. Good pickup on the play. A gain of 8 and a first down for Fostoria. First down in the ball game. Jason Dukes with the good running there.
Justin Vandenberg, the tackler, 5'5", 136-pound junior.
So 1st and 10 now for Fostoria. The ball spotted on their own 48. Damon Moore, the quarterback, fakes the handoff, and the keeper gets to midfield but tripped up there.
I think he may have tripped over his own man. Todd G. Lucis trying to throw a block, and Moore, I believe, stumbled over his own man. Could have been a big gainer, too.
Gain of 1 on the play. Makes it now 2nd down and 9. Dukes straight ahead on this play. Get pickup of 2, bringing now 3rd down and 7. As Tiffin Columbian defense getting a little tighter near the midfield stripe.
Paul Pryor making the tackle on that play, coming from his linebacking spot. Line for the defense for the Tornadoes, Ryan Richardson, 6'2", 197-pound senior. Martin Meyer, a 6'2", 190-pound junior. Justin Marsh, a 6'1", 201-pound junior. And Jeff Heddles, a 6', 180-pound senior.
Well, Fostoria forced to call a timeout with only 10 players on the field. Fullback Toby Shepard a little slow getting back out there on the offensive set. So with the timeout on the field, 8:03 to play, and quarter number 1, still no score. We'll take a break as well. We'll be back right after this.
The best decisions are made when you dine at the Sandwich Shop and More, 224 North Sandusky Avenue in Bucyrus. Serving daily specials, your favorite breakfast, For that quick lunch, sandwiches, daily homemade soups, or the tempting salad bar, dinner hour can be hearty or light. We bake our own breads, buns, and pies. Friday and Saturday evening buffet. Let all your decisions be enhanced with a good meal at the Sandwich Shop and More.
Pizzazz. Pizzazz. Photography by Pizzazz. Professional, creative, bringing a new age of photography to Tiffin, Ohio. Pizzazz. In the Laird Arcade, downtown Tiffin.
We're back once again here at Memorial Stadium in Fostoria. 3rd down and 7 for the Redmen as they line up. Damon Moore, the quarterback, takes a look over the offensive line, takes a snap, drops back to pass, looks downfield, has a man open, and a pass complete to Tony Hammond. Halfback out of the backfield and picks up first down yardage at the 40-yard line. So a pickup of 8 on the play and another first down for the Redmen. They continue their march.
But Todd M. Lucius went deep on the play, allowing the hole to open up underneath the defense, and they did a nice job picking up the first down yardage.
First and 10 at the Tornado.
So a second first down of this drive for Fostoria, a drive that began on their own 37-yard line. Now 1st and 10 at the Tiffin Columbian 40. Again, looking to pass is Moore, and the pass is complete to Moore over the middle. Moore still on his feet and brought down inside the 25-yard line of Columbian. Another big pickup on the play. This time going for 18 yards and another first down for Fostoria.
Moore just a 3-step drop and looking inside, just waited till the man came open in the seam of the defense and threw a perfect strike right into him.
On their opening drive, 7:47 to go in the first quarter. Moore sends Todd M. Lucius wide to the right.
First and 10, ball spotted on the Tiffin Columbian 22-yard line. Fostoria Redmond on the move, and his handoff this time to Dukes, and Dukes slips, get him 0 on the play.
We didn't say too much about it, but all the way up it was raining, and the field is a little bit slick. The grass high. I was down on the field a little bit before the game. Grass is high and wet, so I imagine we'll see some slips tonight.
Second down and 10. They'll mark him at the 21.5-yard line. Moore
Second and 10 now for the Redmen of Fostoria. Fakes a handoff to the first man through and then pitch back to Dukes. Dukes losing the handle, but picks it up in time. Still a loss on the play.
Moore wasn't sure if he wanted to pitch that one or keep it himself, undecided, and it caused him to throw a bad pitch back.
Coach Kimball was going to say they carry the option out a little farther.
So no gain on the play with the fumbled pitch by Dukes. 3rd down and 10 now facing the Fostoria Redmen. Ball still spotted at the 22 of Tiffin Columbian. They have trips to the left this time as Moore looking to pass once again. Getting some pressure. Still the passes over the middle and complete. Touchdown to Tony Hammond in the end zone. 22 yards. And Fostoria first on the board at the 6:20 mark of quarter number 1.
Back defending was number 5 for the Tornadoes, Matt Newland, who's able to play defense, and he once again slipped on the wet grass. He was up there high enough, it looked like, but slipped as he put his last foot up there, his toes up there to try to knock it down, and it's wide open touchdown.
A nice job there with the hands by Hammond, as he was wide open in there with Newland slipping, and as a result, touchdown Fostoria Redmond. It's 6-0, 6:20, quarter number 1, and the extra point attempt is up and good, as that was Damon Moore who handled the kicking duties as well as quarterbacking duties. So it's 7-0, Fostoria on top here early. 6:20 to play in the first quarter. We'll take a break. We'll be back right after this.
Let's face it, we go out to eat because of the atmosphere. Whether it be business lunches,
Pioneer Mill,
or family dinners.
Pioneer Mill.
The Pioneer Mill restaurant has the authentic atmosphere we're all looking for.
Pioneer Mill.
And the food. Have you tasted the food at the Pioneer Mill lately?
Pioneer Mill.
Delicious. Food, atmosphere, and quiet fun.
Pioneer Mill.
The Pioneer Mill restaurant in Tiffin. It's an experience.
Well, back once again at Memorial Stadium here in Fostoria as the Fostoria Redmen have jumped on top early. 7-0 is our score. A 22-yard touchdown pass from Moore to Hammond. And then the extra point added by Moore makes it 7-0, and Moore now to handle the kickoff duties. 6:20 to play in quarter number 1.
More impressive in that first drive with his passing ability.
Kick picked up by Duffy at about the 17-yard line. He's across the 25, 30. He's at the 40. He's near midfield and finally brought down. Last man back there to make the stop was Damon Moore.
John Hartman also back there making the tackle. Moore standing right at the 50-yard line as the safety. And we've got a penalty and a face mask against Fostoria.
So a big return by Duffy, and then the face mask at the end of the play. We'll add another 15 to it. So this time Columbian will have great field position as they will be deep in Fostoria territory. The ball will be spotted right around the 35-yard line when the official marks off the spot.
Duffy doing a good job returning the ball. He was one of the top ground gainers in the NOL last year as a junior. So if they can keep him healthy and get Newland back, even though they're 0-2, they're going to cause some troubles with some teams in the NOL, I do believe.
Josh Sedler, the quarterback, and again, bringing a man in motion was Tony Gooding. Handoff goes to the second man through, and he is stopped in a hurry. That was Duffy on the carry, and he is met about the same time he got the handoff. No gain on the play, maybe a loss.
G. Waters, the tackler, 6 foot, 211 pounds senior.
Remember, for all the print and picture coverage of tonight's area high school football games, pick up a copy of tomorrow's Review Times. 2nd and 8 at the 33 of Fostoria.
Eller, the quarterback, under center. This time hands off to Duffy once again, and this time Duffy is met and dropped for a loss. They did give him a gain of 1 on the prior play, but on this one, no doubt about it, a loss on the play, and it'll be now 3rd down and 12.
Todd M. Lucius, the first man to make contact in the backfield. And as you say, they give him back a little bit of a good spot. Still lost yardage.
3rd down and a long 11, short 12 with the loss of 3 on the play by Duffy. We'll see if Fiddler looks to take it to the air. Josh Sedler brings Gooding in motion to the near side. Looks to pass, and it's a lateral. In fact, it's a live ball, and the ball goes out of bounds. Let's see who gets it.
Nobody really fell on it. They just knocked it out of bounds.
That was a lateral pass intended for Duffy, and the ball was really not very well thrown off the fingertips of Duffy, and a big loss on the play.
Now they had good field position that time and lose it on that loss.
A loss of 12 on the play.
Once again, Redmond with 10 men on the line rushing the punter. Wobbly kick.
Picked up by Moore at the 20. Moore shucks and jives and heads in the proper direction, but not much of a return as Columbian defense did a nice job on the kick coverage.
Well, the Tornadoes giving up real good field position. If they would have stayed at the line of scrimmage, which was down there around the 30-yard line, then punted it, they could have had the Redmond backed up in a hole, but instead the big loss on that lateral gives the Redmond the ball on the 29-yard line.
First and 10, their own 28 of the Fostoria Redmond. Handoff goes to Dukes. Does a nice job staying on his feet, but then is brought down. Number 65, Justin Marsh, on the tackle.
Good hit. And Moog's doing a good job of keeping his balance. Hit in the backfield and spun out of it.
Getting up on the play by Jason Dukes. He now has 4 carries for 12 yards. And it's 2nd down and 9. The ball spotted just short of the 30-yard line. Moore looking to pass. Looks for Mora, passes up, and just off the fingertips.
A little bit of bumping going on, but no call. Defending was Mike Morgan, 5'8", 147-pound junior. I don't think I'd want to be in his shoes tonight.
Looks like he may have his hands full. Did a nice job that time on Aaron Moore, but Moore looks to be super quick. I tell you, I'm pretty impressed with the quarterbacking of the 6'1", 185-pound junior Damon Moore.
Looks cool back there and has a nice touch on that pass.
He's 3 for 4 for 48 yards in the ball game with the 1 touchdown pass. Looking to pass again, fires it over the middle and overthrows Tony Hammond and almost picked off that time by Morgan.
Morgan was backpedaling that time to stay with his man. And once again, the wet field come into play as he went to stop and his feet slipped out underneath him.
James Estrada in to do the punting now for Fostoria as the Redmen face a 4th down and 9. The ball spotted at their own 29.
Tony Gooding deep for Tiffin.
Estrada's punt, bit of a shank, but he gets a favorable roll and is going to roll out of bounds in Tiffin Columbian territory. The ball will be spotted at the Columbian 37-yard line. And Tiffin Columbian will have it 1st and 10 from there. So Columbian continues to have a fairly decent field position, this time starting at their own 38-yard line. 3:19 to play in quarter number 1. The Tornadoes down by a count of 7-0.
Josh Esler, seeing him last year play against Galleon, I believe it was, have a nice pass also. He completed a couple nice passes in that ball game before he got knocked out, literally. But we'll see if the Tornadoes don't come back with some part of a passing game.
Edler looks to pass. Pass is complete. Complete to number 82, Jason Pagnard. Depending on the spot, it could be the first down, first one of the ball game for Columbian. They're going to bring the chains across the field from the looks of things. It is that close. 10-yard gain on the play.
Pagnard, who caught that pass, 6'1", 164-pound sophomore.
A lot of youngsters on the Tiffin Columbian football team. Well, they call it a 9-yard toss.
Tiffin 46-yard line. Elder. Got a new tailback in the backfield. That's Chad Gitchett.
Ooh, Pryor lost control of the ball. I think he hung on to it.
Now this is Chad Gitchett, number 42, who was in at the tailback position for Columbian.
Okay.
And he lost a yard on the play as well as a handle on the football. So that'll bring a 3rd down and a long 2.
Tornadoes a couple of chances tonight with short yardage for 1st down, not being able to capitalize. Here comes a big 3rd down play.
As they have failed on their first 2 third down opportunities.
3rd down and 2 now for Columbian. Nedler stumbles going back, gets his footing, gets a pass up, and incomplete, overthrown in front of the Fostoria bench. That'll bring up another punting situation for Tiffin Columbian as they're faced with a 4th and 2. The ball spotted at their own 44-yard line.
John Radeball, the intended receiver, but the ball was behind him. Radeball is 6'1", 161-pound senior.
Rather than try to run something off tackle outside and get that 1st down, it shows you how they're convinced that they're not going to move the ball.
Well, Fostoria about to get the football back. 2:30 remaining in quarter number 1. As punt is up and picked up at 20-yard line by Moore. Now Moore across the 30 up to the 35 where he's finally brought down. And on the tackle for Columbian, Paul Pryor, number 46, as well as number 82, Jason Pagnard.
Okay, the punter now for Tiffin Columbian is number 47, Ryan Richardson. In the scorebook, they got him listed as 74. So Richardson, the punter, 6'2", 197-pounder.
And we expect to see a lot out of Ryan defensively as well.
He's in there at middle linebacker right now. Moving over to the end position.
Senior defensive end for Tiffin Columbian and a key to their defense. 1st and 10 from their own 34-yard line for Fostoria. Here goes Moore and the pitch. Hammond to the 30, to the 25, the 20, and finally tripped up, but a big play as Moore and Hammond hook up, and a big gainer for the Fostoria Redmen on that one.
Mike Morgan had to go all the way across the field to make the touchdown-saving tackle. He gets up a little bit slow, but a nice ankle tackle. But on the other end, a super option play, and Moore keeping the ball across the line of scrimmage and carried it actually about a 10-yard gain himself before he pitched it.
So a 51-yard gainer for Fostoria. and Columbian wants timeout. Timeout on the field. 1:54 to play in quarter number 1. That's Fostoria 7, Tiffin Columbian nothing, and the Redmen knocking on the door once again. We'll take a break. We'll be back right after this.
The new generation heat pump from this Comfort Assure dealer comes with a satisfaction guarantee.
If you're ready for central air conditioning, talk to us at Martin Brothers about a Lennox electric heat pump. It's a central air conditioner with a terrific bonus. The electric heat pump heats your home in the winter, which can save you lots of money. Call us for details.
The electric heat pump, it heats, it cools, and it saves.
The best decisions are made when you dine at the Sandwich Shop and More, 224 North Sandusky Avenue in Bucyrus. Serving daily specials, your favorite breakfast. For that quick lunch, sandwiches, daily homemade soups, or the tempting salad bar. Dinner hour can be hearty or light. We bake our own breads, buns, and pies. Friday and Saturday evening buffet. Let all your decisions be enhanced with a good meal at the Sandwich Shop and More.
We're back once again here at Fostoria as the Redmen lead at Tiffin Columbian Tornadoes by a count of 7-0. 1:54 to play in quarter number 1, and Fostoria setting up first and 10 at the Tiffin 15-yard line. Handoff goes to Jason Dukes up the middle, and Dukes picks up about 5 on the play. Good gainer again for the Redmen, especially down here in territory where the yardage gets to be a little tough to get sometimes.
Fostoria is starting to show their quickness now the last few plays.
Solid ball team, these Fostoria Redmen. We knew that coming in, and they've certainly shown that to be the case. A lot of weapons, both on the ground and through the air. 2nd and 6. Handoff goes to Dukes, right side. Dukes breaks one tackle, puts his head down, and bowls his way up to about the 4-yard line. It was Morgan who made the stop for Tiffin Columbian, but now it'll be Morgan. It looks like 1st and goal now for Fostoria as they picked up the first down on the play.
Morgan's made about 4 big plays here in the first quarter defensively with that tackle and saving a tackle on the option and a couple nice plays on pass defense. He's going to be a tired young man tonight.
1st and goal on the 4. Handoff goes to Shepard, and Shepard gets into the end zone. Touchdown Fostoria. Toby Shepard from 4 yards away picks up the 2nd score of the game for Fostoria, and it's now 13-0. This one coming at the 1-minute mark of quarter number 1.
Shepard had to fight his way through the line, but finally made it. Give the Redmond line credit. Ryan Wagner, Sean Nye, Jackie Hartley, Chip Dawson, and Tom Jaguki. Dawson, 6'3", 305-pound sophomore. He's number 58 out there.
Well, Damon Moore now back to add the extra point. 24, Dustin Smith to do the holding. Snap was a little low, but a nice job by Smith of finding the handle, putting it down, and Moore puts it through. 14-0 now. Fostoria with their 2nd score this first quarter, and they are on top. And nothing fancy about that once they got down in the red zone. A big 51-yard play to pick up the big chunk of yardage as the option play worked well with Moore pitching back to number 19, Hammond. That was the big gainer, 51 yards on that particular play. And then once they got inside that 20-yard line, they've spotted on the 15. Did a great job just straight ahead, as they call it, smash mouth football. It was Toby Shepard who finally took it in from 4 yards out. And then the extra point made it 14-0. That's where we stand with 1 minute to play, still in quarter number 1, Mike.
So many weapons, as you said. Dukes doing a lot of the ground game, but also Damon Moore able to hit Lucius and Hammond along with a couple other receivers, so they're wide open. And with all the arsenal they have, I don't think I'd want to be a defensive coordinator looking forward to having to play Fostoria down the line.
I'll tell you, that just took 4 plays and a minute 4 off the clock on that 66-yard drive.
They look like they're there in the 2-minute offense all the time.
And the kickoff is received by Duffy at the 10. He's up to the 20-yard line, and he is met with a heavy hand, but still stays on his feet. Hard to knock down. 15-yard return brings it out to the 25-yard line where Columbia will have it 1st and 10.
About 5 Redmen hit him, but he was able to keep his feet. That time the Redmen closed up the middle The previous time, the Tornadoes set up the return straight up the middle and had a nice hole as Duffy was able to get out by midfield. This time the Redmen closed up the middle of the field on the return.
Well, 1st and 10 on the 25-yard line for Tiffin Columbian. Edler still the quarterback. Brings Gooding in motion to the near side once again. Fakes a handoff to the first man through, and on the keeper. He has nowhere to go, nowhere to hide, nobody to pitch it to. Ends up taking a loss on the play of 1.
Edler faked the handoff up the middle, but it was not a good fake at the handoff. As you can see, air between them. Just not a good play as the defense able to read it right off the bat and stop it.
2nd down and 10 now as time winding down in quarter number 1. Inside of 5 seconds, 2 now on the clock. And they're not going to get the play off. Well, we've got 1 quarter complete here at Fostoria as the Redmen of Fostoria on top of the Tiffin Columbian Tornadoes. 14-0 after the first 12 minutes of play. We'll be back 2nd quarter action right after this.
First Bank of Ohio Tiffin is proud to be a part of the community. That's evident because First Bank of Ohio Tiffin is the oldest and strongest independently owned bank in Tiffin. Since 1873, all of the banking services and decisions have been and still are handled and approved locally. Consumer loans are their specialty. 2 locations to serve you, 22 South Marion in Bloomville and 175 South Washington in downtown Tiffin. Shouldn't you put your trust with First Bank of Ohio Tiffin? Member FDIC. Quality and service, that's what brings Mayheck's Trophies to be the best. For over 45 years at the same location, the Mayheck family has brought their customers bowling equipment, school jackets, and a variety of awards. Customized wedding plaques, special newborn and birthday plaques, and special surprises for Mother's Day and Father's Day. Should you need a special gift, corporate award, or sports trophy, see Jim or Bob Mayheck, 707 Toman Street, Crestline, or call today, 683-1164.
On the sidelines, 14-0.
So back once again, quarter number 2 now ready to get underway at Fostoria Memorial Stadium. Tiffin Columbian with the football, 2nd down and a long 10. Bring a man in motion, Ron Hickman, number 22. And the handoff goes the 2nd man through, and that's Duffy. Duffy still on his feet, moving ahead, fights his way ahead for about a gain of 3 on the play. They'll bring up a 3rd down and 7.
Duffy, just 5'7", 165-pound senior. That time stayed right behind his lineman, stayed right on their backs so that the defense had a hard time picking him up.
They completed a 1 passing course, but all in all, that defensive line of Fostoria is really easy problems.
3rd and 8 for the Tornadoes. Ryan Richardson now.
3rd and 8 now, 3rd and 7 make that for Tiffin Columbian as they bring Gooding in motion once again to the near side and looking to pass, and he is buried. Edler never got the pass off as he was waylaid on by number 72, Sean Nye, 6'2", 215-pound junior, and he just came right through the Tiffin Columbian line, and Edler lucky to get up as quick as he did.
Edler tried that 2 or 3 step drop, and it did not work. He did not have time at all.
Loss of 4 on the play.
Richardson back to punt once again. Low snap, picks it up nicely, gets a good boot out of there. Fumbled, rolls back to the 15.
Moore picks it up at the 15, now heading up to 20. He's at the 24, 25, and finally knocked out of bounds. Morgan was the last man there, also on the play, number 41 for Tiffin Columbian. And again, not in the program.
Almost got smacked into the water fountain.
So a big punt that time puts Fostoria in a bit of a hole, at least more so than we expected, as they will start now 1st and 10 on their own 27. Fostoria's first possession of this the 2nd quarter, and the Redmen already with the lead of 14-0 after 1 quarter of play.
Damon Moore with his team. Shepard and Dukes in the backfield, Hammond and Burnell out to the right. Here's a pit.
There's Moore. Moore still on his feet across the 35 to the 40, 45, midfield, and finally taking 2 men to pull him out of bounds in Tiffin Columbian territory. They're going to spot him at about the 46.
Matt Newland able to corral him and slow him down, and finally got some help. But Moore, nice deceiving once again, able to fake that handoff. And that time, the Tornadoes watching for that option on the lateral. This time Moore kept it.
27-yard gainer on the play. 4 more, 1st and 10 in Tiffin Columbian territory at the 47. Moore looking to pass, steps ahead. Nice touch, it passed to Moore. All alone, number 85 for Fostoria. That's Todd M. Lucius. And I tell you, that was sweet all the way. Just a pretty pass play from Moore to Lucius, and a big gainer for the touchdown. Where was the defense on that one?
They lost track of everybody.
47-yard pass play for the score.
Lucius, a 5'10", 160-pound senior, and he was behind the defense by a good 10 yards.
Nobody in the area. In fact, when he makes a catch, he's standing all alone, just waltzes his way into the end zone unscathed. That makes it 20-0. Still 10-18 to play.
But he's glad he caught that one out wide open like that.
Well, the snap on this one was missed, but into the end zone for a 2-point conversion to Smith. Well, when things are going your way, they go your way. And that's certainly the case for Fostoria here tonight, as Dustin Smith bobbled the snap, was able to pick it up, got a nice block from Moore, and then just scampers into the corner of the end zone. 2-point conversion. That adds a little insult to injury, makes it 22-0 now, Redmond.
Nice job by the line to keep the Tiffin Columbian Tornadoes out of any kind of pressure, to give them time to get the snap and run with it.
But let's take another timeout. 10-18 to play in the first half. 22-0. Fostoria on top of Tiffin Columbian.
Pizzazz. Pizzazz. Photography by Pizzazz. Professional, creative, bringing a new age of photography to Tiffin, Ohio. Pizzazz. In the Laird Arcade, downtown Tiffin.
The Reno family came to the Tiffin area from San Bartolomeo, Italy. They began their family restaurant in 1950 with one idea in mind: quality. Reno's Pizza and Pasta is the place for great food, friendly service, and a warm, cozy atmosphere 7 days a week. Drop in for a sub at lunch, a pizza after the game, or bring the family in for lasagna, Reno's house specialty. Reno's Pizza and Pasta, 73 East Market Street, Tiffin.
2-0.
Go back once again, 22-0 Fostoria, and the kick goes straight up, and it's a live ball. I think Tiffin Columbian is surprised by the kick as we was, as Fostoria kicked the ball straight up in the air. I think it was the first time I've ever seen anything like that.
I think he's waiting on an infield fly rule.
Well, I'm not sure I can explain that one. But Tiffin Columbian going to have decent field position as they'll start at their own 45-yard line. The ball only needed to travel 10 yards to make it a live ball. And Fostoria very nearly came up with it, as it is Tiffin Columbian, as you see. We'll have it 1st and 10 at their own 45-yard line, trailing 22-0, 10:09 to play in the first half.
Tornadoes can't complain. They have not had real bad field position this game. They have not been backed up deep in their own territory. Big hole, Pryor.
Pryor still on his feet at the 40, down to the 35, and brought down at about the 33. So the first down of the game for Tiffin Columbian is Paul Pryor. Great job by Paul on that run.
Moore, the quarterback, playing safety on the defense that time, hauled him down by the fingertips as he is hanging on.
21-yard gain that time by Paul Pryor. He has 2 carries now for 23. As we mentioned, the first down of the game for Tiffin Columbian. They had 8 rushing attempts for minus 10 yards in the first quarter. Yeah, we got a timeout on the field as officials timeout working with the headgear of Tony Hammond in Fostoria's defensive backfield.
Well, the Tornadoes in their playbook have those quick hitting plays that have to go to those. That one doing a good job by Paul Pryor right up the middle.
There you see the official working with Hammond's headgear. And they're going to have to pull him off the field of play temporarily to get that work done. They'll bring in somebody from the sidelines to replace him.
Todd M. Lucius.
In the backfield is Pryor and Duffy.
Well, 1st and 10 now for Tiffin Columbian. The ball in Fostoria territory, spotted at the 33-yard line. Edler hands up the middle, and this is Pryor once again. So the fullback, Paul Pryor, doing a pretty good job picking up some decent chunks of yardage here in this drive for Tiffin Columbian.
Last season, Pryor and Duffy made a good tandem of running backs for the Tornadoes.
3 carries now for Pryor, 27 yards. That's a healthy 9 yards per carry.
Maybe the next play or two we can get the defense of Fostoria. They have a different kind of defensive huddle. They all line up in one line and look at the sidelines for the play.
Sending Gooding in motion to the far side of the field. Edler takes a snap, looks to pass, puts it up. Gooding's open. Can he get to it? He does. And Gooding into the end zone. Touchdown, Tiffin Columbian.
We talk about Edler being a good passer, and he proved it right there. As that pass had to be right on target. If it was short, it was going to be intercepted. But he was right on target with it.
Tony Goodling with the touchdown reception. And finally, Tiffin Columbian on the board.
That took, what, 3 plays?
3 plays, and this one came from 30 yards out.
Tornadoes getting a couple players on late. Oh, a lot of movement.
Well, a lot of fireworks in this one, and not much in the way of yellow flags, however. So that's one nice thing about it. First flag on, if it's on Tiffin Columbian, no, it's going to be offsides against Fostoria.
Change your plan of attack, go for 2. Brian Bleeks, number 2 for the Tornadoes out there, will try to attempt the field goal or the extra point. Tiffin declines the penalty. So Bleeks, a 5'10", 150-pound sophomore, soccer style.
Gets a kick up, and good. So Bleeks with the extra point makes it 22-7. Tiffin Columbian on the board, and that one looked very impressive. Three plays, taking about a minute and a half off the clock. 55-yard drive for Tiffin Columbian. They finally get on the board, now trailing 22-7. It was the running of Paul Pryor early in the drive, 21-yarder, and then the 4-yarder after that set up the pass play, 30-yard touchdown toss from Edler to Goodling. 22-7 is where we stand.
That's got to be a confidence builder for the Tornadoes.
Now if we can just get some help defensively and find some way to stop this scoring machine of Fostoria, they've done a great job. They've got a lot of weapons out there, very impressive. And kind of glad to get the opportunity to see the Fostoria Redmen this year. We've done some playoff games in the past for Fostoria cable system. So we've seen a lot of the Redmen in years past. It'll be the first time this year, however.
That score surprised them so much they was lining up on the wrong side of the field.
We did have a couple of Fostoria Redmen lining up.
The deep men,
yeah.
Deep men went all the way down the other side of the field.
Well, if you see on your screen there where they're just getting ready to kick off, if you go back to about the 5-yard line, that's where the Fostoria players, no, not that way.
They're at the right spot.
They're in the right spots now, but before that, they were lined up what would have been behind the Tiffin Columbian kicking team.
Oh, we had a goofy kickoff last time, so maybe they know something.
This Fostoria kicking team is must be the comic relief for these guys. Spent a lot of time on their offense, apparently. There's Morris still on his feet. Morris kind of sneaky quick out there, still on his feet and slithering around. Finally taken out of bounds at the 45-yard line. And to watch Moore, he doesn't look to have a real explosive speed, doesn't seem to be real strong, but he's just kind of slithers around out there, just picking and choosing his way.
I'm sure he's fast once he breaks into the open, though.
Looks very elusive to bring down. Of course, Moore was, he picked up a touchdown pass earlier.
22-7.
So we'll see if the Redmen can come back and retaliate for the score they just gave up. They can hit just as quick as what Tiffin did.
8:31 to play. Now it's a give straight ahead.
Hand off straight ahead, and here goes Shepard. Shepard wide open, and he's down to the 20, down to the 10, 5, and no doubt about that one. One play, and Toby Shepard takes it in from 56 yards out.
Lightning strikes. I was just about ready to say it was a big series for the defense, but there goes that train of thought.
Boy, I tell you, Toby Shepard just broke through the line left side and just rumbles all the way. Fostoria offense, very diversified, very strong. Toby Shepard now his second score. This one 56 yards away. It didn't take much time either, 10 seconds off the clock. Take me 10 days to run that far.
We have to stop for oxygen a couple times.
28-7 now. Fostoria on top with 8:21 still to play in the first half. Remember last year when Fostoria laid a 63-0 walloping on the Tornadoes of Tiffin Columbian. This time the placement was late. And Smith pitches off to Hammond. If you watch Fostoria's kicking game, they're going through a lot of different kickers, a lot of different combinations out there. This time it was Hammond back to try the extra point rather than Moore. And the placement by Smith just did not get down in time. Hammond's stride was a little off, so they just picked it up and tried to put it in for the two-point conversion. Didn't work out, but they still have the 6 from the touchdown run by Toby Shepard. And with 8:21 to play in the first half, it's 28-7, Fostoria on top.
Let's face it, we go out to eat because of the atmosphere, whether it be business lunches,
Pioneer Mill.
or family dinners.
Pioneer Mill.
The Pioneer Mill restaurant has the authentic atmosphere we're all looking for.
Pioneer Mill.
And the food. Have you tasted the food at the Pioneer Mill lately?
Pioneer Mill.
Delicious. Food, atmosphere, and quiet fun.
Pioneer Mill.
The Pioneer Mill restaurant in Tiffin. It's an experience.
We're back once again here at Memorial Stadium in Fostoria, where the Redmen have racked up a 28-7 advantage over the Tiffin Columbian Tornadoes with still 8:21 to play in the first half. Damon Moore to do the kicking for the Redmen. Gets off a good one, and Duffy fields it at his own 15-yard line. He's out to the 25-30, and now brought down just outside the 35-yard line. They'll spot it right around the 36, so Tiffin Columbian first and 10 from their own 36.
Nice return by Duffy once again, as the Tornadoes like to use that up the middle kickoff play. Keep it right in the middle of the field.
Well, 8:13 and counting to play.
Here the Tornadoes getting the play from Edler. Zedler took the signs from the sideline. Now they head to the line of scrimmage. Zedler to take the snap. Ryan Phillips, the center. Send Gooding in motion to the far side. And Edler looks to pass. Fires across the middle. It's picked off. Matthias still on his feet to the 20-yard line. Now down to the 15. And brought down. Well, I think just not going well for Tiffin Columbian. Fostoria this time with the interception. Picked it off at his
Matthias.
It's a Tiffin 38-yard line and takes it down inside the 20 as number 42, Doug Matthias, the 6'1", 200-pound junior linebacker.
I don't think Josh Edler seen him at all, and he just fired a quick one inside there. And Matthias looked like he jumped out of a jack in the box, and intercepted that one.
Well, Fostoria now will have it first and 10. The ball spotted at the 12-yard line of Tiffin Columbian. We're going to have a timeout first. It's head coach Don Tomaszewski of Tiffin Columbian wants to talk to his charges. There you see the Fostoria Redmen as they come to meet with their head coach Dick Kidwell. Fostoria on top 28-7, 7:39 to play in the first half. We'll take a timeout as well, and we'll return after these messages.
Visit the Village Bean Barrel and experience the finest quality gourmet coffees, teas, and accessories from around the world. Experience over 20 varieties of international coffees such as hazelnut, Bavarian chocolate, or Colombian Supreme in a relaxed and pleasant atmosphere. The Village Bean Barrel will also design your holiday baskets.
Hello, I'm Dan Seifert. Welcome to the Village Bean Barrel. Stop in and try the finest teas and coffees in the entire world.
Now back here at Memorial Stadium in Fostoria, 7:39 to play in the first half, and the Fostoria Redmen threatening once again as they have the ball on Tiffin Columbian's 12-yard line after the interception and healthy return by Matthias. Puts the Redmen first and 10 in the red zone, and the pass across the middle and off the shoulder pads of Hammond.
A little bit behind him. and that was a bullet.
Well-designed play from Damon Moore to Hammond. It was just a bit behind him, and incompletion results. Still, though, Damon Moore having a pretty good night. He's 4 of 7 through the air for 94 yards and a couple of scores. Moore hands off. Nope, keeps it. And on the option, Moore goes into the end zone. A flag on the play late, but Moore on the option play takes it into the corner of the end zone for the score. There is a flag on the play.
Moore just tiptoed around the corner and into the end zone.
Well, apparently the flag on the play goes against Fostoria, so that will nullify the score and march Redmond back a few yards as well. We'll wait for the call. You see the officials huddled there with the Tiffin Columbian players, and they're marching it back. Looks like a big one.
10 yards.
And there you see the hold is the call. So it'll be now 2nd and 20 from the 22. Just a second penalty of the game. Both of them whistled against Fostoria. Moore looking to pass. Has time. Gets it off. And in the end zone, touchdown, Mora. Well, 3rd touchdown pass of the game. And this time it's Aaron Moore, the 3rd different receiver, to grab the touchdown pass.
Nice touch once again by Moore on the pass. Just drops back. And perfect spin on the ball. Perfect spiral. Can't say anything bad about his passing. He's just
I
right.
see you were shaking your
right
head.
on
It's like
top.
just non-belief of what the offensive weapons that Fostoria has. Passing, running, size on the line. They can do it all, going for the 2-point conversion. The flag on the play. The pass is complete to Hammond in the corner of the end zone, but a flag on the play will nullify that as well. So we'll see if maybe they'll set up for the kick now after this. But they were trying for the 2-point conversion, having some trouble with their kicking game, and the pass was complete from Moore to Hammond for the 2-pointer, but the flag on the play will nullify that.
You don't see too many juniors in college have that passing touch the way Moore has it, and he's a junior in high school.
Well, I tell you, they're used to seeing the good quarterbacks over here. Of course, Mr. Football, Derek Kidwell from Fostoria, went on to be redshirted this year at Bowling Green for a number of years here, led Fostoria from the quarterback position. So they're used to seeing a good quarterback, and Moore definitely can do some things with the football. Very smooth delivery on the pass, and one thing he has over Kidwell is he has a little quicker feet, a little better on the running game. Well, looking for that same play, and it's there again, and the touchdown, or the 2-point conversion, actually. Well, the 5-yard penalty didn't make any difference. They come back, run the same play, and Moore connects with Hammond for 2, 36-7.
Ran that play 3 times in a row, and Tiffin could not stop it.
I don't know if it's the firepower offensively of Fostoria. That's definitely the case, or just the fact that Columbian having some struggles on the defensive side. But boy, I tell you, an impressive night for Fostoria. Still not even at the halfway point of the second quarter, and it's 36-7. Unbelievable offensive fireworks from the Fostoria Redmond tonight. And it's no wonder that these Fostoria people packed the stands like they do. They had to add seating on both ends of the field here because of the demand for tickets. Now tonight, things are a little bit on the downside as far as Columbian goes, but Fostoria side of things definitely same as always, and it's packed. And that's despite some nasty weather forecasts and a lot of rain throughout the day.
Of course, it was parents' night too for Fostoria, so a lot of family out that may not normally be out, like grandparents and all that, taking in the festivities.
7:25 yet to play. The drive only took 14 seconds off the clock. They ran 3 plays. Incomplete pass, the penalty, and then the 22-yard touchdown pass from Moore to Moore. Gitcheff with the return and gets it across the 30 out to about the 33. Now let's see if Columbian can put together another impressive assault of their own like last time. Remember Pryor with a couple good runs and then the touchdown toss. No, that was 2 times ago. Actually, last time was the interception. But nonetheless, let's see if they can put another offensive drive together here.
Fostoria that time kicked off to the sideline, and they're tired of seeing Duffy run back up the middle on him.
Putting in motion to the near side as Edler calls the signals, takes the snap, and hands off to Duffy, second man through.
Matthias buries him.
Pickup of one on the play, bring up a second down and 9 now for Columbian.
Doug Matthias, a 6'1", 200-pound junior, playing the linebacker spot.
Second down and 9 now for Tiffin Columbian. Edler hands off again to Duffy. Duffy across the 40, and just falls forward and ends up with a first down. So Duffy with a good job there, just keeping the legs churning, falling forward rather than down, and ends up with a first down. Nice gain on the play of 10.
But Waters made the tackle from his linebacking spot, but he helped Duffy that time pick up good 5-6 yards by trying to bring him down by going forwards for Tiffin.
First and 10 from the 43-yard line. Tiffin Columbian with the ball on the move. Edler hands off left side to Duffy, and Duffy met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play.
Lauren Booz shot through and made an arm hit to slow down Duffy.
So no gain on the play. Bring up a second down and 10 now for Tiffin Columbian.
There you see the defensive huddle, if you can call it a huddle, defensive line. The defensive lineup for the signal from the coaches on what defense to play.
Bleaks in motion to the near side. Edler hands off to Pryor up the middle. Pryor may have 2 on the play.
Brick wall right there waiting for him.
So we'll give Pryor 2 yards on the carry. And it'll make it now a third down and 7.
So they'll give him 3 yards on the play. It's going to be third down and 7.
4 carries now for 30 yards for Pryor as he continues to have the healthy average, although running a bit hard to come by as far as the stripes go against this Fostoria defense. Gooding in motion once again to the near side. Handoff, nope, fake, and looking to pass. Pass across the middle is, almost caught, but incomplete off the fingertips of John Redeball.
Redeball had it and lost it, and the ball just out of his reach as he was falling to the ground. Good effort.
Well, that'll bring up a fourth down punting situation for Tiffin Columbian. Ryan Richardson in to do the punting. Back to receive for Fostoria is Mora.
Had a good punt last time. He's with the wind.
Takes his time, gets one up, and Mora fields it at the 21. He's at the 30, now to 35 and brought down.
Here comes a clip.
Jason Pagnard with the tackle and the flag on the play. As you mentioned, probably a clip against Fostoria. That'll back him up 15 more from the spot.
Seen that one coming. The referee reached in to pull out his hanky, but couldn't pull it out. He had to run about 5 yards before he finally got out and threw it down.
Well, they'll mark off 15 against Fostoria.
I'll let him back the red man up again.
From the spot of the infraction, it'll move the ball back to about the 15-yard line. So what could have been a decent run back for Moore, it winds up pretty rough field position for Fostoria after the clipping penalty. 3 penalties, or make that 4 penalties now for 45 yards against the Redmen. But they have the ball, first and 10 on their own 15.
Deepest they've started a drive, if you can call them drives.
New quarterback in the game now for the Redmen, number 16, Brian Bernal. And he hands off to number 26, Jamie Guerra.
Tornadoes right there to bring him down. 58, and he's not in the book.
Well, Brian Burnell, the quarterback, with just 3:40 remaining in the first half, and Fostoria already going to the second line of offense. Also in the ball game, number 30, Steve Hartle. This is Burnell on the keeper, and Burnell around the end, across the 20, knocked down at about the 24.
Burnell, nice gain. Duffy made sure that the quarterback kept it because he went after the tail man, the trailer, number 30, and that is Steve Hardell. And Duffy smacked him to the ground.
So a pickup of 7 on the play for Brian Burnell. 5'10", 148-pound junior.
Nothing doing there. Paul Pryor right there in the offensive backfield from his linebacking spot to for a loss of about 1, I believe.
That was Walter Talley, number 48, on the carry. And a timeout on the field. Tiffin Columbian calls a timeout with 2:32 showing on the clock. And I believe the Tornadoes were a man short on the return team. Well, Coach Tomaszewski out there with the troops. We'll take a timeout as well. 2:32 to play in the first half. It's Fostoria 38 and Tiffin Columbian 7. We'll be right back.
First Bank of Ohio Tiffin is proud to be a part of the community. That's evident because First Bank of Ohio Tiffin is the oldest and strongest independently owned bank in Tiffin. Since 1873, all of the banking services and decisions have been and still are handled and approved locally. Consumer loans are their specialty. 2 locations to serve you, 22 South Marion in Bloomville and 175 South Washington in downtown Tiffin. Shouldn't you put your trust with First Bank of Ohio Tiffin? Member FDIC.
We're back once again here at Memorial Stadium in Fostoria, 36-7. The Fostoria Redmen on top with 2:32 to play in the first half.
See if Mr. Duffy can get a return here for the Tornadoes.
This is Estrada with the punt. A little wobbly one off the right side of his foot, and the ball bounces around in Fostoria territory and finally down where Tiffin Columbian will have it with 2:20 still showing on the clock. But still 44 yards away from Patriot or the Tornadoes.
Tornadoes approve they can hit real quick like with their touchdown, a pass play. Also have had some nice runs from Duffy and Pryor. So they're not, there's no out of reach for them from not scoring here. Things go right. Pryor coming in late to the huddle.
First and 10 at the 44-yard line of Fostoria. The Tiffin Columbian Tornadoes with the football. Edler over Phillips, takes a snap, fakes the handoff, looks to pass, and the pass is off the fingertips. Number 82, Jason Pagnard.
Once again, the pass behind the intended receiver, Pagnard.
Behind him and had a little bit of mustard on it as well. Incompletion as a result. Now 2nd and 10. Edler again the pass. Looks along the right sideline. Nice catch, but is incomplete. They call it incomplete. They never had control. Well, I tell you what, he was awful close to making the catch. Pagnard over there on the sidelines had it for a while, but when he hit the ground, he lost it, and they said he just did not have enough control to merit a completion. But I tell you, awful close. I think from up here, I ought to give it to him.
He stretched that 6'1" frame out as far as he could. May have knocked the wind out of himself when he hit the ground, but great effort.
Boy, just off his fingertips, too. I'd just say a great effort. Now 3rd and 10 facing Tiffin Columbian. The ball still on the 44 of the Redmen. 1:41 still on the clock. And off to Pryor. Pryor bounces off the initial contact and falls ahead for a gain of 3 on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down now and 7.
Pryor ran into the brick wall and spun and found a crack in it, picked up 2 yards.
Columbian's going to find themselves a real good football player there. But they need to give in some...
4th and 7 now for Tiffin Columbian, and looks like they'll be going for it with 1:15 to play in the first half. The ball spotted at the 42 of Fostoria.
I don't know about this. I think I might punt it away. If you don't make the first down, you give them great field position, even though there's less than a minute to go.
They've shown they can strike quickly on a number of occasions in this one. Here's Edler looking across the middle, and it's nearly intercepted. Mora had his hands on it, and actually a nice job there by Gooding of knocking the ball out of the hands of Mora. So Mora, Gooding, the intended receiver, ends up being a defender on that one, knocking the ball away from defensive player Aaron Mora.
So now we'll see if the Redmen, who have 50 seconds to go, can strike once again. Of course, now they're getting more and more of their second string ball players in.
So the Redmen will see what they can do with 50 seconds to play in the first half.
It's still Burnell, the quarterback, and handoff to the second man through. Cousins, and Jermaine Cousins brought down after a gain of 2 and a flag on the play as well.
Going to be a hold. I believe one of the pulling guards that time grabbed hold of one of the Tornadoes.
Another penalty against Fostoria. So 45 seconds still on the clock in this first half of play. It's 36-7. Fostoria on top of Tiffin Columbian, and the penalty for holding against Fostoria now makes 5 penalties for 55 yards. About the only thing that Fostoria isn't doing so well, and that's they have racked up some penalty yardage. Well, 1st and 20 now facing a Redmond. Brian Burnell, the quarterback. Hands off, goes to the first man through. Gabe Wedge, number 39, the fullback in there. So a lot of different runners in the ball game so far by Fostoria. This was Wedge's first carry, and he picked up 4 on the play, and that'll be 2nd down and 16.
Also a couple different linemen in there. Jared Weidling. Good defensive play.
Pryor with the stop for a loss as the handoff went to number 15, James Estrada. Ends up a 3-yard loss on the play, and the first half comes to an end. So we've played 24 minutes here at Fostoria Memorial Stadium, and it's been all Fostoria. 36-7 is our score on the clock as the teams head to their respective locker rooms. Fostoria Redmond 36, Tiffin Columbian 7. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back for second half action right after these words from our sponsors.
Visit the Village Bean Barrel and experience the finest quality gourmet coffees, teas, and accessories from around the world. Experience over 20 varieties of international coffees such as hazelnut, Bavarian chocolate, or Colombian Supreme in a relaxed and pleasant atmosphere. The Village Bean Barrel will also design your holiday baskets.
Hello, I'm Dan Seifert. Welcome to the Village Bean Barrel. Stop in and try the finest teas and coffees in the entire world.
Pizzazz. Pizzazz. Photography by Pizzazz. Professional, creative, bringing a new age of photography to Tiffin, Ohio. Pizzazz. In the Laird Arcade, downtown Tiffin.
So Fostoria Redmond with the longest winning streak in the state, looking like they're going to extend that a little bit further. As I mentioned, 14-0 last year and capturing the state championship, and now continuing to add the points and totals to their ledger as they look very impressive the first half. Columbian, I'm sure, I don't really know if they can come back and pick up a W in this one. I think now their main thing is just to earn a little bit of respect, keep the ball game close, maybe add a score or 2 on their own. Anything's possible, but it will be a tough road to hoe. And Fostoria will have the football to start the second half as they receive the kick. And they take it out to about the 38-yard line where the Fostoria Redmen will start 1st and 10 from there.
Aaron Mora caught the short kickoff and returned it out. So we'll see the first team, I guess, of the Fostoria Redmen. I imagine we'll see them for at least one score in the second half, and then we'll see the second and third strings, maybe even deeper, rest of the half.
Well, this is Damon Moore back at quarterback position, and he fakes the handoff and fakes the pitch, still on the keeper and still on his feet up to midfield. Finally does flip it back to Hammond. It was a bad flip. Ball's loose, and it looks like Columbian's going to pick it up. No indication yet from the official, but it should be Tiffin Columbian's ball. Did not single him down. No, they're saying he was down on contact. Did Hammond come up with a full ball, or?
I don't think anybody really came up with it. They was laying on top of it. I don't think they realized it was loose.
Well, first down as a result. It ends up being a pretty good gainer, a gainer of 12 that time on the keeper, and then the late pitch. So, you know, chalk it up as a fumble on the play, 12-yard gainer for the quarterback, Damon Moore.
That happens with that type of offense. You have some fumbles.
That was a bit of an ill-advised flip there. Now here's Moore on the pass. It's complete to Mora. Nope, incomplete, just off the fingertips.
Couldn't pick it up off his shoe tops. But so far tonight, that's really the only problems the Redmen have had. That was their third, if they call that a fumble. That would have been their third fumble, and 5 penalties in the first half. So that's really the only thing that I think can stop Fostoria is themselves.
Second down now and 10 for the Redmen. The ball spotted at the midfield stripe. Damon Moore, the quarterback. He's got Shepard and Dukes in the backfield. This is a handoff to Dukes, the tailback, and he is brought down. Tackle on the play by number 58 of Tiffin Columbian.
Don't have a 58.
Well, there's one out there.
That's the second time.
Yeah, it's at least the second time. I think maybe third time tonight we've run into an instance where we have a number not in the program tonight. But nice play by Tiffin Columbian. Unfortunately, no recognition for the young man who deserves it. So now third down and 14. Third down and 14 now for the Fostoria Redmen. Moore back to pass. Looks for Mora. Mora's open, and the pass just underthrown and incomplete.
Mora cut back to the middle of the field a little bit too late. The pass was there. I think Mora lost sight of it with his angle. He may have been looking up into that one set of lights.
When they see the ball, they stop running backwards. And yes, and Mora was.
Well, fourth down now and 14 for the Redmen, and a punting situation. James Estrada back to punt. Snaps a little high, but not much in the way of pressure from Columbian, so he gathers his composure, puts the pretty good kick away with the wind at his back. And Duffy on the return brings it out to about the 28-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Tornadoes, their first possession of this the third quarter.
Duffy split a couple of would-be tacklers, but got nailed by Chi Walters, who's 211 pounds, puts Duffy to the ground.
1st and 10 for Tiffin Columbian now. Stay tuned for game stats as provided by the Review Times. Remember, for all the print and picture coverage.
So I'm sure the Tornadoes would like to get some offense going and at least grind some of the clock down.
1st and 10 now for Tiffin Columbian.
Yeah, we got a timeout on the field. Timeout called by Josh Edler, as not sure if the formation was what Edler was looking for, so they take the timeout. Now Edler looking to the sidelines, and he may have been a player short as they do bring fullback Pryor out onto the field now. That's the second time in the game. Pryor, well, this one isn't Pryor, this one's Richardson. But the second time in the ball game that Tornadoes have been a man short on an offensive set. 9:58 showing on the clock. 36-7 is our score. Fostoria on top.
Other than the couple of fumbles, I believe the Redmen have punted twice tonight. They've only stopped themselves twice.
Very few times.
Tiffin stopped them, we should say, twice.
This is Duffy on the right side, and he picks up some pretty good change on this one. We'll call it a gain of 4 on a play. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Well, just like the punt return, Walters right there to bring Duffy down.
20 yards now in the ball game for Gene Duffy.
They've all been tough. Duffy goes off the side of the field, a little bit groggy, I believe.
He looks to be a little shaken up, and the official timeout as they take Duffy off the field. Now the official signal is play of ball.
That's going to be a tough blow.
Well, they got Richardson and Gitcheff in the backfield. This is Richardson. Pretty good guard as he takes it out to the 45-yard line. So Richardson's first carry, and he ends up picking up 13 yards on it.
Richardson in the down back position took the handoff, and a nice job by Gitcheff of just standing there like nothing was happening. And one of those quick hitter plays picks up big yardage for Tiffin.
Ryan Richardson with a 14-yard gainer in the first down of this second half for Tiffin Columbian, third in the game. And the handoff this time was to Gitcheff, and nothing doing in the way of yardage on this one, as it'll bring up now second down and 10 with no gain on the play.
Slow developing play once again. Tony Hammond, the tackler. Seems like Tiffin has their best success when they hit quick right up the middle. They try to go outside. Their quickness is no match for the quickness of Fostoria.
Second down and a long 10 now facing the Tiffin Columbian Tornadoes. Leaks in motion to the near side. Handoff first man through. That's Richardson again. Richardson bowls ahead and picks up a gain of 5 on the play. It'll be third down and 5 now for the Tornadoes. But Ryan Richardson looking like a bull out there, doing some pretty good running.
Tough 5 yards, maybe 6 yards they give him.
19 yards and 2 carries on this drive for Ryan Richardson.
Richardson 6'2", 197, just the opposite of what Duffy and Pryor are. Both of them under 5'10".
And Richardson a senior. Third down now and a short 5. They bring Goodling in motion to the near side. Handoff goes to the deep back, Gitcheff, and Gitcheff is stopped short of the first down. Pickup of 2 on the play is going to be 4th and 2 for Tiffin Columbian. And with the ball spotted at the 47 of the Redmen, it'll be interesting to see what head coach John Tomaszewski decides to do with 7:33 on the clock in quarter number 3, trailing 36-7.
Once again, Waters from the linebacking spot making the tackle.
Well, the Tornadoes are going for it here near midfield, 4th down and 2. They've not been real successful. However, in this drive, Ryan Richardson has looked pretty good. Man in motion is Hickman.
Think they're going to try to draw Fostoria off? No,
they're going for it
with the play.
It goes to Gitcheff, and Gitcheff is stopped short. So the 4th down gamble goes against the Tiffin Columbian Tornadoes as a full house of defenders there where Fostoria is the better hand.
Well, at this point of the game, Tiffin with nothing to lose, and if they would have punted, they'd have been punting into what is right now a strong wind.
It has picked up a pretty good pace as far as the wind goes, so I suppose not a huge gamble considering the score 36-7, but Fostoria now in field position 1st and 10 from their own 48.
First string offense still out there.
And this is Dukes. Dukes with the carry, picks up 4 on the play. It'll be now 2nd down and 6.
Like we said, we'll see the first team of Fostoria until they score.
Or perhaps maybe the entire 3rd quarter. We have seen shades of that in the past, as they do have a pretty rugged schedule, some big schools coming up, and when your players only play for 1 half, you don't have that full effect of a 4-quarter ball game, and sooner or later they're going to be pressed into a full 4 quarters of contact. So you hate to set them out after just 1 half. So they could possibly go 3 quarters. We'll see how things go, and hey, if things work out for the best for Tornado fans, Fostoria may not get on the board again. Incompletion on that one there will bring up a 3rd down and 6.
Pass was intended for Todd G. Lucis. There are 2 Lucises. We haven't mentioned that too much. Todd M. and Todd G. 85 and 89.
Moore hands off to Dukes. Deep back. Dukes first down to the 40. Still on his feet at the 35. Now 30, 25, 20. 1 man to beat. Dukes to the 5. Touchdown, Fostoria. 48 yards away, Jason Dukes takes it in for the score at the 5:57 mark, quarter number 3.
Looked like Gitcheff had the angle to him, but simply was outrun to the corner.
Jason Dukes from 48 yards away for the score. That makes it 42-7, Fostoria, and they did not slow down much here at the halftime break. They come back out and right at the midpoint of quarter number 3, pick up the score.
Looks like they're going to go for the 2-point.
Well, they don't have much of a kicking game, so probably better advised they hand off to Duke. No, that was a quick pass. I'll tell you what, it's a little tomfoolery there. Good, I'll tell you what, good ball handling by Fostoria, and it ends up being a 2-point conversion for the Fostoria Redmen. Make it 44-7.
Lucius on the receiving end of the 2-point conversion pass. They're getting back to their kicking game. Moore is their, looks like their best kicker, and he's not that strong of a kicker.
Well, a 48-yard touchdown jaunt by Jason Dukes, capped a 3-play, 52-yard drive, and took up to not even a full minute off the clock. Fostoria back on top. Will take a timeout. 44-7 is our score. Fostoria on top with 5:57 to go in quarter number 3.
The Reno family came to the Tiffin area from San Bartolomeo, Italy. They began their family restaurant in 1950 with one idea in mind: quality. Reno's Pizza and Pasta is the place for great food, friendly service, and a warm, cozy atmosphere 7 days a week. Drop in for a sub at lunch, a pizza after the game, or bring the family in for lasagna, Reno's house specialty. Reno's Pizza and Pasta, 73 East Market Street, Tiffin.
At this point in time, John, it's just going to be a matter of getting young kids as much as
Go back once again here at Memorial Stadium in Fostoria, and there you see the bad boys in black, as they call them here in Fostoria, the Fostoria Redmen, and they are bad in a good way tonight. 44-7, the Redmen overtapped the Tornadoes of Tiffin Columbian, and we're at the midway point of quarter number 3. Actually, 5:57 showing on the clock. Kick is received by Goodling. Goodling tries to go outside. He's at the 30, and he is hauled down and dropped on the spot.
This time we see Tony Hammond doing the kicking chores for Fostoria.
At their own 31-yard line, as they try to mount some sort of attack here.
First and 10 for Tiffin Columbian. The ball spotted on their own 31-yard line, trailing 44-7. Clock winding at the 5.5-minute mark of quarter number 3. Moore brings Goodling in motion. Fakes a handoff to the first man through. No, he did give it to the first man through, and I believe that was Richardson once again.
Looked like the right side of the Tiffin line started, but no flag. Started before the snap, but no flag is thrown.
Oh, it was Pryor in the fullback position on that particular series. No gain on the play. So Pryor had a pretty good first half. No gain on his first attempt here in quarter number 3. Second down and 10 for the Tornadoes. Edler looking to pass. Finds nobody open and ends up getting buried. Loss on the play. A lot of black shirts in the backfield, and you got to credit that sack to the coverage team because there was nobody open in the as far as receivers goes for Columbian.
Good pressure right up the middle. And once again, the Columbian offensive line not that big.
Loss of 2 on the play will bring him to 3rd and 12. Gooding is wide.
3rd down 12, sending Goodling in motion to the far side of the field. Fakes a handoff to the halfback. Pass to the right side to number 82, Jason Pagnard. And Pagnard with a short gain on the play, still far from the first down. A pickup of 4. It's going to leave him short, 4th down and about 7 yards to go for the first down.
I believe that play maybe just a confidence builder in Edler, making sure that he knows he can hit those passes out there later on in the season.
dropping back to about his 33. Here is the boot.
Yeah, Richardson with a pretty good punt against the wind. Mora receives that to 40. Breaks through the initial line of defense and is dropped at the 45.
Caught the ball and then made a nice stutter step. Looked like he was going to come to a stop and then took off once again.
First down and 10 yards to go.
Good speed and many moves by these ball players. Now Moore is still out there as the quarterback.
For Fostoria, Todd Hammond, or Tony Hammond, wide to the right. Todd M. Lucius wide to the left.
3:44 in quarter number 3. It's still a first-team offense out there for Fostoria. This is Shepard, and Shepard with a pickup of 4 on the play. He'll bring up second down and 6 as Toby Shepard moves ahead for the short gainer.
More and more players coming in for the Tornado defense. Jason Combs checks into the backfield.
Second and 6 for Fostoria. The ball 1 yard short of midfield at the Fostoria 49. Move Lucius to the tight end spot on the left side of the lineup. And the handoff goes to Dukes going left side. Dukes moves ahead. Another gain of about 3 or 4 on the play. Depending on the spot, it'll bring up third down and probably about 3 yards to go for the first down.
Nothing fancy the last 2 plays by the Fostoria Redmen. Just off left tackle and get as much as they can. Let the line just push the ball downfield with the runners right behind them.
Perhaps working on their ball control offense. Sometime they may need to take some time off the clock. Third down now and 3 for the Redmond ball in Columbian territory. On the option, this is the quarterback Moore, and he is stopped. Did not get a pitch off, and he was stopped short of the first down. It'll bring up 4th down and 2 for Fostoria. Gain of 1 by Moore.
Matt Newland with the Star Wars guard and protecting his eyes, making the tackle.
Shut him down. He's going to bring up 4th down.
Well, the Redmen appear to be going for it on 4th and 2 from the Tiffin Columbian 47-yard line. They send Moore in motion. Handoff goes to Dukes. Dukes at the first down, still on his feet.
No, Moore has it.
Moore has it. And Moore, the
Moore's
quarterback,
long
has it and gets into the end zone. Well, I tell you what, that is some great sleight of hand there. I was myself lost. Boy, oh boy. And I tell you what, they had Columbian fooled as well. I don't know about you, but I'm stunned. Talented team.
Reminds you back in the days of Rex Kern for Ohio State.
Man, oh man.
He just trotted the last 20 yards, it seemed like.
Kind of rubbing it in a little bit, I think. 47 yards on the scoring run.
Kind of hard to rub it in when nobody's close to you. I mean,
a little high stepping in for the score. Still a minute 38 to play in quarter number 3. And the extra point attempt is blocked, and the line drive by Hammond right into the back of some of his offensive linemen, and still leads the score at 50-7. Fostoria on top in a big way. 47-yard run by the quarterback, Damon Moore. Excellent job of sleight of hand, and the crowd appreciates that. 50-7, 1:38 to play. Let's take a quick timeout, and we'll be back right after this.
Let's face it, we go out to eat because of the atmosphere, whether it be business lunches,
Pioneer Mill.
or family dinners.
Pioneer Mill.
The Pioneer Mill restaurant has the authentic atmosphere we're all looking for.
Pioneer Mill.
And the food. Have you tasted the food at the Pioneer Mill lately?
Pioneer Mill.
Delicious. Food, atmosphere, and quiet fun.
Pioneer Mill.
The Pioneer Mill restaurant in Tiffin. It's an experience.
We're back once again, 1:38 to play in quarter number 3, and it's been all Fostoria Redmond in this one. 50-7 is the score. Redmond overtapped the Tornadoes of Tiffin Columbian. And kicking off is Hammond. Ball is received by Duffy at the 20-yard line. He's up to the 25-30 and falls forward to the 35.
Good to see Duffy back out there. As a few series ago, he was helped off the field a little bit, but he's got his senses back now, and nice return once again.
Well, an opportunity here to make mention of one of our sponsors tonight, Shop. The Sandwich Shop uptown in Bucyrus. Stop by the Sandwich Shop for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Top eating place in the area. Sandwich Shop in Bucyrus. 1st and 10 for Tiffin. And the handoff is good for 1 yard on the carry.
But once again, the Tornadoes going off tackle, and it's just not there tonight for Tiffin Columbian. As good pursuit by the linebacking core of the Fostoria Redmen. Keep it plugged up. The best ground game that the Tornadoes have had has been that quick hitter right up the middle.
Second down and 9. This is Richardson on the carry. Richardson, yeah, he's doing a pretty good job back there. Just keeps bowling ahead. And this one, he ends up picking up 7 on the carry. It'll bring up 3rd and a short 3 for Tiffin Columbian.
Jackie Hartley, 5'8", 217-pound defensive tackle, a senior, making the tackle.
Ball spotted on the 42. Tiffin Columbian.
Tailback now is looks like Duffy. We'll check the number for sure.
Well, third quarter come to an end before they get to playoffs. So we've played 3 complete here at Fostoria. 50-7, the Redmen on top of the Tornadoes. We're going to take a timeout and we'll be back. Fourth quarter action coming your way next.
About to get underway. Fourth quarter being brought to you by Scott Pontiac Cadillac GMC.
Back once again here at Fostoria Memorial Stadium, where Tiffin Columbian Tornadoes with the football, looking at a 3rd down and 3. The ball spotted on the Columbian 43-yard line.
Sending Hickman in the slot. Now Hickman will come in motion.
Hickman in motion now to the right side. Fakes a handoff to the fullback and a quick pass across the middle, and it's complete for a 1st down. A pickup of 8 on the play and a 1st down for Tiffin Columbian. On the reception, number 82, Jason Pagnard, I believe, was the receiver.
Caught the pass and then was immediately surrounded by 4 or 5 Redmen.
Substitutions now for the Redmen as we see that second team unit in there on defense. We'll try to check some of the numbers in there for you. Jeremy Guerra in there, Gilkey, Chip Dawson, John Hartman.
1st and 10 in Fostoria territory. Tiffin Columbian with the football. Ball spotted on the Redmen's 49-yard line. Hands off to the first man through. That's fullback Richardson. And Richardson.
Late flag came in.
Across the 45 and spotted at the 44-yard line. We'll see what the indication is. You see the officials there huddled in the center of the field, and we got a hold against Columbia. Their first penalty of the night. Will march them back 10 yards and nullify the gainer that time by Richardson.
Good effort by Richardson tonight, as those are tough yards right up the middle.
So the penalty marked off from the spot will set them back what amounts to a 7-yard loss. It'll be now 1st and 17.
First of 3 Redmen team that Tiffin Columbian have to play this year.
First and 17. Edler takes the snap, fakes the handoff to the halfback, looks downfield, pass is underway and complete. Pagnard, he's at the 25, 20, 15, 10, and brought down at about the 8-yard line.
Jermaine Cousin, a 5'10", 142-pound junior. From his cornerback spot, came back and from behind, saved a touchdown.
Big gainer on the play. Takes it all the way down to the spot, and I believe on the 8-yard line.
And I believe Fostoria has called timeout.
A timeout by the Redmen. give us an opportunity to talk about last week's Player of the Week, sponsored by Mayhex Trophies. The Mayhex Player of the Week for last week is Buckeye Central quarterback Matt Songer, who had himself a great night. Unfortunately, a little error in judgment. We didn't get an opportunity to present him with the plaque. They left at about 1:45 for the big road trip today. Went to Hanoverton United or United Hanoverton or wherever it's at. I know it was an early trip, and we ended up not making the presentation, but did not by any way, shape, or form delete the fact that it was a great effort by Matt Songer last week as his team now 2-0 for the first time in many years out there at Buckeye Central. Mike Tracy, head coach at Buckeye, doing a great job, and he's our Player of the Week. Matt Songer, quarterback for Buckeye Central. Let's hit a word from the place for trophies in Crestline. That's Mayhex Trophies.
Quality and service, that's what brings Mayhex Trophies to be the best. For over 45 years at the same location, the Mayhex family has brought their customers bowling equipment, school jackets, and a variety of awards. Customized wedding plaques, special newborn and birthday plaques, and special surprises for Mother's Day and Father's Day. Should you need a special gift, corporate award, or sports trophy, see Jim or Bob Mayhex, 707 Tillman Street, Crestline, or call today, 683-1164.
Go back once again, 48-yard reception has put the ball on the Fostoria 8-yard line. Tiffin Columbian threatening to score here. Edler, the quarterback, out with the full house backfield. Hand off to Duffy, and Duffy bowls forward inside the 5-yard line. Stalling the blocking of Richardson, as well as Mike Morgan. So Duffy with a pickup of 4 on the play.
Duffy just gets right behind his blockers, and it's hard for the defense to pick him up.
5'7", he's just a little guy, 5'7", 165. And he'll pick up a couple. It's going to be a second down and goal.
So this would be a boost if the Tornadoes can punch it in, although the game's well out of hand. Oh, fumble.
Lost the football. I think Edler fell back on it, however, so it'll be still Tiffin Columbian football, but that'll be third down.
That's the first time for a while that we've seen a player slip on the turf. So now it's third down and 4.
So that brings up a third down.
Long 4.
Go for the Tiffin Columbian Tornadoes.
Third down now on goal. Ball spotted right about the 5-yard line. Edler hands off. Nope, fakes a handoff, looking to pass. The pass in the end zone, complete for a touchdown. Hooks up with Jason Pagnard once again. And Pagnard now with 5 receptions for 74 yards and a score.
Looked much like the play that the Browns scored their first touchdown on the other night with Michael Jackson.
Jason Pagnard gets the 5-yard touchdown toss from the quarterback, Josh Edler, and that makes it 50-13. 9:43 still to play in the ball game.
Tornadoes found themselves a good receiver, and he's only a sophomore. Pagnard, 6'1", 164 pounds.
Looks to have pretty good hands. This is a passing combination that'll still be here next year with Edler just being a junior. Tiffin lining up for a 2-point conversion. Looking for the pass, and intended for a Goodling. Looked like Cousins may have made some contact back there with Goodling. No flag, however, on the play, so it goes as an incompletion, and it's where we stand. 50-13 is the score. Fostoria still on top at 9:43, but the Tornadoes did gain some measure of respect with the touchdown toss there. Josh Edler to Jason Pagnard, and that capped a drive of 65 yards. And a quick count there, 8 plays on the scoring drive as well. 8 plays, 65 yards, and took a little bit of time off the clock as well, right around 4 minutes off of the clock. So a pretty good drive by the Tornadoes against a solid Fostoria defense. A big 48-yard pass play from Edler to Pagnard set up the touchdown. That moved it from their own territory down inside the 10, and of course it was the same combination, but then hooked up for the score.
Oh, when you're getting beat 50-7 and you can score here in the fourth quarter, it's going to keep your confidence up, and that's what the Tornadoes need with the league play starting next week. Oh, here's an onside kick. Didn't work.
Covered well and covered quickly by Fostoria. Oh, they'll give Fostoria a good field position.
Tornadoes were bunched up in the huddle, and just a quick kick as everybody just ran out and ran at the ball. But it was kicked just a little bit too hard.
Well, good designs, but unfortunately for Columbian fans, did not work out. As Fostoria recovers the onside kick, and they'll start 1st and 10 from their own 48. The quarterback back into the game is Burnell once again. As they've gone back to the second stream again. This is Estrada. Estrada gets past the original line of scrimmage and picks up some good yardage on top of that. In fact, a gain of 7 on the play before he's finally brought down to be 2nd and 3.
What started out as a shaky play, Bruno pass or lateraling back to Estrada. Estrada bobbled it a little bit, able to gather it in, and made a nice gain out of it.
It's going to bring up a 2nd down and 7 yards to go.
2nd now and 3 for the Fostoria Redmen. Ball spotted on the 45 of the Tiffin Columbian Tornadoes. Burnell hands off to the second back through. That's Estrada. Estrada still on his feet up to the 30-yard line, and inside the 34 he's brought down by Morgan.
Seemed like Estrada was full speed when he took the handoff, and he just blistered right through the line.
15-yard gainer that time by Estrada, and another 1st down for the Redmen.
Estrada, just a sophomore, 5'11", 172 pounds. He comes out of the lineup after that run.
He's got 3 carries for 19 yards. They bring Cousins into the backfield in place of Estrada in the deep back position. This is Cousins who gets the pitch, gets by the initial tackler, and a nice job that time by Paul Pryor of hanging on to the back of the jersey to bring Cousins down.
Well, his shirt just went from medium to extra large.
Well, we've got unsportsmanlike conduct against Tiffin, so 1st down yardage on the play, with the penalty being marked off against Tiffin Columbian.
Just wonder if something wasn't said out there. Nothing really violent took place that we could see.
Well, we're a long way from the playing field, so the verbal assaults we would have no idea of. Didn't notice anything of the physical nature, but nonetheless, 15-yard mark off against Tiffin Columbian. That moves the ball now inside the 15-yard line. In fact, spotted at the 14. Fostoria at the Tiffin Columbian 14-yard line, and we got a timeout on the field, so we've got time for one last timeout ourselves. 8:14 remaining in the ball game. It's 50-13 Fostoria on top, and we shall return shortly.
The new generation heat pump from this Comfort Assure dealer comes with a satisfaction guarantee.
If you're ready for central air conditioning, talk to us at Martin Brothers about a Lennox electric heat pump. It's a central air conditioner with a terrific bonus. The electric heat pump heats your home in the winter, which can save you lots of money. Call us for details.
The electric heat pump, it heats, it cools, and it saves.
Back once again here at Memorial Stadium in Fostoria. It's 8:14 remaining to play in the ball game. Fostoria Redmond with the football, 1st and 10 at the 14 of Tiffin Columbian. And the handoff in the middle. The handoff goes to Walter Talley, and Talley stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play.
Talley, another sophomore in there, so things look pretty good for Fostoria this next few seasons.
Yeah, with all this youth out there, though, what do they do for a JV team? A lot of ball players out there on the sideline, though. When you're successful, the program just continues to grow and grow, and definitely on an upswing here at Fostoria, coming off that state championship last year. Burnell on the option. He's got it still, and he is brought down on the tackle for Columbian.
41 don't have him either, do
Nope, that's another one.
A lot of different players seeing action now for Fostoria especially. We was talking earlier, one of their starters, Chip Dawson, 6'3", 305-pound sophomore. Well, he's replaced by Dan Esquivel, a 6'2", 296-pound senior.
Burnell takes a snap, looks to pass. He gets hit and knocked down. Pryor, you'll get credit for the sack, but another Columbian defender in the backfield prior to that actually caused the sack to happen, as Jeff Hoover, number 54, a 5'11", 196-pound senior, made contact on Burnell and shook him up just long enough for Pryor to get the big bear paws around him and bring him down.
That's one of the few times tonight that the Tornadoes have got through and put some pressure on the quarterback.
A loss of 4 on the play. Yeah, we got another timeout on the field. Fostoria takes a timeout, I believe, but we'll keep it right here as we are out of timeouts. But situation at hand with the Fostoria Redmen once again threatening to score. The ball spotted on the 17-yard line, makes it 16-yard line of Tiffin Columbian. It is 4th down and 12 from there. Second stringers in the game for the Redmen, and they too, like the first team, looking fairly impressive.
Looking over the comments from Coach Dick Kidwell and talking about a relatively inexperienced team that they have this season. Doesn't look like it.
Well, that may have been at the first game, but they are now 3-game veterans to this point. And some of those names I'm sure you remember from last year and years past, as they would get playing time, much as these youngsters are doing here. Games get out of hand because of the talent they had of the frontliners in the previous years, and these youngsters would get playing time. And so they're really not as inexperienced as you may think. They have had a lot of playing time against varsity competition, usually in a mop-up role, but playing time nonetheless. Well, 4th down and 12 now for the Redmen, and a pass by Burnell is tossed up for grabs, and it's intercepted. Columbian comes up with the interception. It works like a short punt. Yep, Morgan with the interception. So Burnell on 4th and 12 pretty much threw that one up for grabs, and Morgan picks up the interception. First and 10 for Tiffin Columbian on the 7-yard line after the interception by Morgan. I believe that's the first turnover in the game by the Redmen of Fostoria. Columbia now with the football in a hole and a long way from pay dirt, some 93 yards away.
Well, I'm sure we'll see them try to grind it out and let Duffy gather in as many yards as he can.
Duffy picked up 5 on the carry there. It'd be 2nd down and 5. Duffy now up to 30 yards in the contest. Paul Pryor, leading ground gainer for the Tornadoes with 33 and 6 carries. Ryan Richardson, average-wise the best, 3 carries, 25 yards. And this is Pryor. Pryor first down yardage and more as he moves out across the 25, brought down at the 28-yard line. Pickup of 16 on the play for Pryor.
I keep hating to harp on the same thing, but that's been their best play. Right up the middle. They've hit a couple big passes, but that quick hitter right up the middle has been a good play for Tiffin Columbian.
Some impressive fullbacks, both Paul Pryor and Ryan Richardson. They've combined for 74 yards from that fullback slot. Now the Tornadoes 1st and 10. Bring Gooding in motion. Takes the handoff. Edler with the pass, and incomplete, intended for Pagnard once again.
Looked like a little bit of contact out there early. Sean Dukes.
And a flag late in the backfield, and it's going to go against Fostoria as they did rough up the quarterback a little bit. And we talk about rubbing a little salt wound there. It's bad enough for beating them up on the scoreboard. Now they're trying to stuff on the field as well. It'll be a 1st down for the Tornadoes.
13, the score on the Burger King scoreboard. Redmond.
So although the scoreboard is a little bit lopsided in favor of Fostoria, I believe Tiffin Columbian coaching staff has to be kind of pleased with the output tonight. They haven't quit.
There's some positives out there. They got a good attack in the fullback. This is Pryor here, the fullback, one of the two we were talking about, and he picks up 7 here. So continuing to rack up some yardage is Paul Pryor now with 56 yards and 8 carries. You know, both fullbacks have looked pretty good. We know Gene Duffy can do the job. Josh Edler, a quarterback, is looking good from time to time. And Jason Pagner, the sophomore receiver, has shown excellent hands with 5 catches for 74 yards. Tony Goodling had a 30-yard touchdown reception. So there's some positives out there. They've looked good at times on defense, but you got to remember the type of talent you're playing on that Fostoria team. They weren't state champs for nothing. It's a very talented coaching staff out there and a program that's on the surge.
Duffy, Pryor, and Richardson, as you said, they're going to make it tough for teams in the NOL. And, of course, the Tornadoes will start out next week on the road at Shelby.
Time and the clock continues to run.
Our ball game here on TV 54, our Bob Cundiff video production for next week, will be Bellevue at Bucyrus, a battle of the Redmen, and what could be a big game in the NOL as the NOL season starts to take form. Last year, those two teams played large roles with the Redmen of Bucyrus sharing a championship with Willard. Bellevue right there, in fact, could just as easily have been champions as the other two, and favored to take that role again this season. So it could be a very interesting ball game between the two Redmans next week.
Dustin Smith on that play, playing a good defense, not allowing the pass completion. There's a lot of different ball players in the ball game now for Fostoria.
Left this time for Tiffin Columbian. Pryor and Duffy still in the backfield. Edler, quarterback.
Edler hands off to Duffy. Duffy still on his feet, past the 40, 30, 25, 20, and brought down after the big gainer. Picked up 23 yards on the carry.
Duffy, he bounces right back up and says, hey, let's go some more.
Well, Tiffin Columbian abusing the non-starters defensively for Fostoria. But it's positive for the Tornadoes of Columbian. Give them some momentum going into league play next week. Hand off to Pryor. Pryor pulls forward inside the 15-yard line. They're going to spot it at the 14. Pickup of 6 on the play.
Fostoria with not, as you said, with second string guys in, not real big guys looking down the weight charts. Matt Keckler out there, he's 198 pounds, number 78 on defensive line.
3 minutes and counting in the ball game. Columbian threatening to score. Edler looks across the middle, guy wide open. That was Pagnard, and the pass was just off the fingertips. Incompletion, but Pagnard was open in the end zone.
Turned to make his cut, and he was bumped. I believe it was Tyrone Settles bumped him and just threw him off balance enough that he couldn't catch up to the pass.
Brings up a 3rd down and 4 from the 14. Pryor and Duffy in the backfield. Gooding is wide to the left.
Handoff this time goes to Duffy. Duffy still on his feet down to about the 6-yard line. That's a 1st down for the Tornadoes. It'll be 1st and goal.
Second team of the Fostoria Redmen look like they need some tackling practice. They need to wrap them up instead of just try to arm tackle.
Well, seeing as how they probably scrimmage against the first teamers and how elusive those guys are, they probably don't get a whole lot of opportunity to tackle anybody. I know Tiffin had their problems tackling that first team offensive Fostoria themselves. This is Duffy once again, 6 yards away, and takes it all the way down to the 1. 2nd and goal now from the 1 after the big gainer by Duffy of 5 yards. He's got 64 yards in the contest.
Sure, Coach Kidwell says, well, if they're going to score, they're still going to eat up some of that clock on the time on the clock.
Second and goal from the 1. Give straight ahead.
Hand off to Duffy. Duffy into the end zone. Touchdown, Tiffin Columbian. That makes the score now 50-19 as Gene Duffy takes it over from a yard away. 2 minutes exactly showing on the clock when Duffy takes it in for the score. 15-play drive for Tiffin Columbian, capped by the 1-yard run by Gene Duffy for the score.
Ryan Bleeks will come out, try to tack on the extra point. Josh Elder, the quarterback, will do the holding.
Remember way back when they started on their 7-yard line, we said they got a lot of real estate in front of them. Well, 93 yards later, and some 4 minutes, 10 seconds later, 15 plays later, Tiffin Columbian puts it into the end zone for the score. They add the extra point. It's 50-20 with 2 minutes remaining in tonight's ball game. Fostoria Redmond still going to chalk up a very impressive victory on the night, but Tiffin Columbian doing a lot of positive things, especially here late in the contest, and they'll have some things going their way as they work this week in preparation for that first league contest. That should be an interesting contest in itself, with Shelby hosting Tiffin Columbian. The Whippets like Bucyrus and Bellevue and Woolard, one of 4 favorites for that league crown. Got off to a slow start against a very strong Mansfield Medicine team, but rebounded nicely last week.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. They know what it is to get pounded the first week. I think Madison's going to do that to a lot of teams this season.
Yeah, without a doubt. I don't think that it's still the case, but at one time, Fostoria and Columbian were, Fostoria and Madison had each other on the schedule, and they had a couple spirited battles there, and that was back in the, I think, like 89-90 seasons.
Right.
Like 28-22 scores, those type of ball games, and there you see Columbian after that attempt again at that onside kick. Just can't seem to get it to work, but of course when everybody's expecting in the whole place, it's going to be a tough one to work.
Matt Gower's going to have to learn how to get it to bounce just right instead of just slide along the wet grass.
Perhaps talk to that Fostoria kicker and find out how he kicked that thing straight up in the air like he did.
That looked like one of my golf shots.
Well, just the opposite of my worm burners. That's why you give the game up. Well, they got a timeout on the field with just 1:48 to play. Again, we'll keep it here. 50-20 is the score. Another opportunity again to mention the fact that Sandwich Shop in Bucyrus is one of our sponsors for tonight's contest, as well as Mayheck's Trophies, who sponsor our Player of the Week, Jim and Bob Mayheck and Crestline. Big sports fans, and talking to Jim today when we picked up the plaque for Matt Songer, and Jim just, I believe it was Thursday night, shot an 8:04. And getting ready to take off. In fact, this week he'll be heading to Florida to bowl in the seniors tour down there. Of course, I won't mention the fact that you got to be 50 to bowl in the seniors tour, because that'd be telling everybody how old Jim is. But he is heading for the seniors tour, and I'm sure he'll do well. Excellent competitor, in great shape, even if he is a little on the elderly side. 50-20, and Fostoria with the football. It's a handoff, and I believe this may be Cousins here. Number 21 was Tyrone Siddles, 142-pound sophomore. And he cut and scampered his way for a 9-yard gainer.
He's just a little mosquito out there. Quickness.
Scary on the depth of this Fostoria team.
Speed to burn.
A lot of things, a lot of weapons. 2nd and 1 now for Fostoria, 1:15 ticking. And Redmond take another timeout, and it's a tough enough ball game to call when you get a score lopsided as this one, and when they keep adding these late timeouts. It's like, okay, Mike, what do you talk about next?
Well, let's see. We've talked about golf. We've talked a little bit about bowling.
Yeah, we mentioned the Sandwich Shop and A1 Printing. There's another of our sponsors for all your printing needs. A1 Printing in Bucyrus.
6 spots left.
So we take care of all of our printing needs. Sylvester and staff. There's one we should mention. End Zone Pizza. We should always mention them. They do a great job of taking care of us after the ball games. Keep the animals happy that way. 1:12 to play here in this one. 50-20. Fostoria is going to go to 3-0 in the season, while Tiffin Columbian will drop to 0-3. 2nd down and 1 for the Fostoria Redmen. This is James Estrada, the 3rd quarterback in the contest for the Redmen. Estrada hands off to the deep back, and a 1st down for Fostoria.
Estrada moves from tailback to quarterback. Very offensive ball player.
On our roster,
So a gain and a pickup of another first down for Fostoria. 1 minute now to go in the contest. Estrada over center. And hands off. Nope, fakes the handoff and on the keeper. Here goes Estrada. Estrada gets past the defender. Estrada down to the 10. Knocked out of bounds right about the 5-yard line. So it doesn't matter how you go. We're talking third string now. Of course, they are also no longer talking first teamers on the Columbian defense either. But still very solid. Good moves out there, especially for a third string quarterback.
Bit on the tailback, and Estrada pulled the ball out. Didn't even consider the option. He turned it up.
Unfortunately, the tackler not listed in the program.
Well, the ball now rests at the 6-yard line of Columbian. 44 seconds remaining as they got a little delay as they helped an injured Columbian player off the field. They now have things ready to go.
He's got some nice speed.
Estrada now, left center, 44 seconds to play, gives to that fumble on the play. Estrada picks it up.
Estrada, after picking up the fumble, takes it inside the 5-yard line down to about the 4, so things still moving pretty good. 34-yard gainer, and then picks up 2 more on a busted play.
I think the sophomore forgot he was playing quarterback and was waiting on the pitch, and here he had the ball all the time and fumbled it. He picked it up, though.
I think he was just displaying his quickness of being able to pitch the ball to himself and still pick up yardage. 2nd down now, and goal. Takes the handoff. Estrada still with it, and this time drops it again, and this time recovered by Tiffin Columbian as number 54, Jeff Hoover, falls on the football, and Columbian stops that scoring threat with 7 seconds left. Jeff Hoover gets a little bit of glory here at the game's conclusion by picking up the fumble inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, Hoover's played most of the game at that inside linebacker. And we haven't really called his name too much tonight.
Clock will run out.
And the time runs down as a contest complete here tonight at Fostoria's Memorial Stadium. It was a Fostoria Redmond 50, Tiffin Columbian 20. Mike, an excellent display of offensive fireworks by Fostoria in this one. They looked flashy at times on defense as well, but I think it's the offense that carries this Fostoria team. Just so many weapons.
Just so quick,